Oh, what's up, YouTube? It's your girl, Shark. Come here with me. Healing as an accepting, acknowledging, and digesting. Listen, today we're going to have a conversation where two people can communicate. There must be a messenger and there must be a receiver. Remember that this is not a chat for children. So if you are a child, you probably should exit stage left. And also remember that you might as well speak when you walk on in the chat, honey, because ain't nobody sleep with you last night. All right, now we got the housekeeping rules out of the way. Let's talk about it. Shout out to Chef Don Don, because listen, I was on the live chat and I had to jump off for whatever reason, and I never got a chance to go back and listen to the interview. Well, today I got that chance, and baby, Chef Don Don, I had so much fun. You would have thought I was there live because, honey, I was cracking up. Y'all are funny. You are funny, Chef Don Don. And then when he jumped in, my goodness, y'all two together was trouble in the neighborhood. Okay, so shout out to you guys. You guys did an amazing job. And I love when people can have, questions that's maybe tensed or questionable or very hard to answer and still have fun in them. So I shout out to you for that, boo. Listen, so also a couple things that he talked about. If you guys want to see the full interview, go over to Chef Don Don page to support him there, and hit a thumbs up when you guys get there, okay? And comment if you're feeling gracious, all right? But listen, I just got a couple things to talk about during that interview. And the first thing we're going to talk about is how Jay talked about Mel's glam swab, right? And he says that, listen, Mel don't share her glam, and everybody knows that. And, he said that he would never do nothing to jeopardize that or nothing to jeopardize his job, okay? He says he's getting paid a whole lot of money and he ain't playing with his coins like that. I said, I feel you, bro. I feel you, okay? But one of the things Chef Don Don asked him was, have you ever been asked? He said, yes, it was really early on. He says, but when they asked, I already knew the rules of the game, so I couldn't do it, but I got somebody else to do it. And that's the respectfully, right? And I also, on the sidebar, I don't know what's this with I can't get my own people. Why do y'all want to share people? I know that sounds crazy, but why do y'all want to share people? That is so strange to me, because if you can't be elevated, you can't afford to be elevated right now, just go ahead and bathroom and get your makeup all done. And the best way you know how, all right? Try again next year, all right? Or get somebody else to do it. But all this talking behind the scenes to the limousine driver, talking to the makeup artist, that is so strange and weird to me. Get somebody else to do it. It's a no for Mel's glam swab, okay? But that's never here nor there. They talked about one big thing. And one of the big things they talked about was the post that Jay wrote when he heard a lot of different stories and people were just telling a lot of untruthful stuff. So he said, listen, let me jump on the scene. And he said at this point, and I'm paraphrasing because this was not his exact words, but he says, listen, I'm going to jump in because I was actually there, right? And I saw it. And not only am I just a makeup artist, look, me and Mel are friends. So I see her hurt in real life, right? I see what's going on in real life. I see what goes on in real life, right? So if anybody else can tell the story, here, I'll tell it for you. So I want to debunk the post that he made, or he talked about, and it was a little whiles back, and then we'll jump back into it, okay? Here we go. So it says, I personally know as the makeup artist for Melanie Hope, and now she's Cherie Rogers, okay? He has lost his mind. Furthermore, what men are watching the kids other than, and basically that's Melanie's brother. He tagged him in it. He says, watching the kids other than him, their uncle. He says, since March, this man has made posts and idolized threats. He says, leave me alone. Melanie literally changed her number 2 times and dudes still email her, and we all know he liked to email because his baby mama posted his emails. I'm glad Melanie is finally standing up for herself, because I've seen firsthand what she endures, and it hurts because she has to keep her game face on so the kids don't see her sweat. He's a bully. I wish we can get the footage from behind every man. He literally interrupted production 2 days in a row because Melanie wouldn't answer the phone, kicked everyone out of the house, and pushed the female hairstylist. It's out. It says it was so bad we had to call the police, and this was within the same week he stole the $17K. He's a monster. Finally, Melanie was a friend. Now he says finally, Melanie was a friend to everyone on the Love and Marriage Huntsville platform until she wasn't. Literally gave money to cast members during her custody battle, only to be betrayed by the side person, by the said person who is now potentially a character witness for Martell. What the F? Said 4 people, maybe 5, all joined forces to do one thing, to destroy her, and everyone has failed. Remember this one thing: the ditch you dig for someone else, prepare to dig too, because you are falling too. 10 toes down. So he goes on to say, reason why I said something, because I was there. I saw it firsthand. I saw this monster pull up at Behind Every Man, interrupt production, do a host of idiotic things, and act the whole fool, right? And I was just pretty much tired, so I showed up, and I'm going to ride with what's right. Okay, so that's why he spoke up. Now, he says that there is no difference in what he said versus what Carlos said during the reunion. He spoke about behind the scenes of Behind Every Man. He talked about, him acting a fool. There was no difference in what Carlos was talking about versus what I was talking about. The difference is Carlos didn't, get shoved, get pushed, tried to get attacked. And what that did was raise bars, and Chef Don Don's like, wait a minute, hold on. What do you mean shoved, attacked, or trying to attack? And then Jay goes on to say, listen, we're not even going to play hopscotch anymore. We're going to go, okay? And he basically airs him out and says, listen, he says, he did try to attack me. I was at this point, I was behind the scenes when at the reunion, and we were there for 14 hours. He says filming. He says, it was been long, it been dragged out. He says, so I was trying to find things to do to, keep busy. And one of the things I was doing was playing on my phone, the little games, solitary or etc. He says, but while I was playing those games, I just heard a big mouth person coming out like, "Rrr." He was like, and then I realized that I was the target, and it was a personal attack on me. And he says that he didn't saw Martell in passing already, and he saw him prior to that post. So for him to snap now at me would say that somebody, and we can probably go down a list and name a couple people that was the snitch, showed him that post that would make me the target that day. He says that, he reached out to Chef Don Don. He was very upset about the personal attack on him. And he just know he wanted to catch the first flight up out of there because he couldn't believe he tried them. Now, let's be clear. He didn't say that he was scared. He just said, you know what? This just some things you just don't do when you're handling business, right? And I can really respect that. But Martell, you're going to rise up on the wrong person. They're going to take you the hell up out of here early, okay? So I think you need to get yourself under control now before it get real stupid, all right? Because you'll never know who waiting outside for somebody. And he says the next time I show up, I'm going to show up with security, my own security. Get him if he ever rise this way again. And I'm like, I could dig it. You know what I mean? So that's what he was talking about. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was Marceau, because he says out of everybody, Marceau is the least one that he speaks to. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was Marceau. Now, it's all allegedly in my opinion, because that's not what he said, but I'm just taking a wild guess. It was Marceau, because Marceau got little hips, thighs, butt, tits, and all that, and you know what that means. It's giving sucker vibes, okay? So that's why I'm saying that. Remember to hit the like button, turn your notification on, and subscribe to the channel.